Here's something very interesting about the Studio Series Optimus Primal figure that you would find impossible to tell just by looking at it.
This is not the Hasbro release, but the Japanese Takara Tomy release.
Now I'll be honest, I'm not really super into Beast Wars or Beast related Transformers, but I like good figures. I really liked Leia Prime, despite never seeing Beast Wars 2. So will this figure be good enough to capture my attention? Or is this one of the worst figures ever?
Let's find out.
The process of getting this figure was interesting. I never really saw it anywhere in stores, but Meccha Japan reached out to me about sending me a figure, and I decided to get this Optimus Primal figure. If you want to get Japanese figures, then they're a good site to take a look at. They have Transformers, Tokusatsu, Gundam,
And other anime related items, such as this. I need that. They even have Hatsune Miku,
World is mine.
VTuber stuff if you're into that. They even have snacks. Maybe I should have asked them for snacks too. Wait, there's VTuber snacks? Any kind of weeb related stuff you'll find on there. And if you don't like Japanese related media and products, then do I have some bad news about Transformers for you.
Make sure to check out Meccha Japan and use code ROBO5 for $5 off on orders above $80 until June 1st for the first 1,000 people.
After the video, of course. Please watch the video.
So I was very surprised when I received this because something, as you can see, is very different about it. I guess you could say I was apefully surprised.
So right away, the box art is different from what we are normally used to. The main thing is that it's in Japanese. It doesn't say 106, it's SS118. Takara has a different numbering system. We also get another picture of the figure here that isn't on the Western release. Here are the sides, and on the back, we got a lot of Japanese and some product images. I did not expect this to be the Japanese version of the figure when I asked Meccha Japan for it, so when I got it, I was kind of surprised, but then I was like, no wait, that makes sense. If I'm getting a product from a Japanese retailer, it's going to be Japanese. There's no Hasbro logo anywhere on the box either. Now, what are the differences between this and the Hasbro release? Well, nothing. At least none that I was able to note or find out about. The colors and everything on here should be pretty much the same as the Hasbro release, but it's pretty interesting to own a Japanese Studio Series figure.
And it's interesting having some Japanese box art. It's still going straight in the trash. I don't have room for this.
By the way, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, as that really helps out the channel.
Well, that's just prime.
So this leader class figure comes packaged in beast mode, so we'll start off there. It's got a really nice sculpt to it all around. This is one beautiful primate. This might be a really great figure to add some silver paint to, as well as some black washing to make it look even more amazing. The gorilla head on this figure is absolutely fantastic. The face of him just looks absolutely menacing and incredibly intricate. There's even some detail work on the side over here, which is very nice. I do like the nice bright green eyes he has going. The face does look very much like a gorilla, as you would expect. This is definitely one of the best head sculpts I've seen on a Transformers figure. Now we do have some silver paint up on this side of the face going all the way down to under the nose.
I got your nose.
However, this jaw area is an unpainted gray plastic, so the color mismatch there is kind of wonky. This does open, which is nice, and you can kind of see the little rod from underneath.
But his face does look kind of dumb when it's open like that.
His head is on a ball joint, so you can move it up and down, rotate it all the way around. It might be a little bit tough to do as pieces get in the way, but overall a very fantastic head sculpt. And coming over to the shoulders, we do have a lot of that gorilla texture over here, which is incredibly nice. I do love the way they did this, and we have some of that ape fur on the side of the shoulders, which do go all the way around along with that texture. If we bring up the shoulder panels, we can see some really nice detail going on inside over there. We have even more of his gorilla texture on his chest, which is really nice. Rubbing up against it, it does feel very rough.
I kind of regret the way I just said that. Wait a minute, no I don't.
This guy is one macho and muscular looking figure. He is a big boy. Coming down to the rest of the arms, we do have some nice intricate mechanical details in this area, as well as the side of the arms. Nothing insanely fancy for the rest of the arms, but it does look pretty good.
Coming down here, we do have some nice banana grippers. I really do like how these hands are sculpted.
And we do have some individual articulation for them. The top two fingers and the bottom two fingers are on individual hinge joints. However, the thumb is not on a joint. Another very nice thing about this figure is that inside here, we do get hands for his robot mode. Inside the arm here, we do have some of that really nice fur detail. I do like the way they did this. You could have the figure in beast mode like this if that is something you preferred. We do get a full 360 arm rotation. We get a bicep rotation, which also goes all the way around. We do get an elbow bend forwards as well as backwards because of how that robot mode works. There is also a butterfly joint here, which can be utilized in the robot mode, but it is backwards. We'll see when we get to that. We do get hand rotation and those hinge joints for the fingers. The beast mode on this figure is honestly so fantastic. I usually keep my figures in their robot modes, but for this one, I might keep him in his beast mode. I really don't own a whole lot of figures that are Beast Wars related, as I didn't really grow up on Beast Wars. I did have a Beast Wars Optimus Primal, but I did trade that along with some other figures for some other figures that I thought would be be more interesting. And from the same guy I traded these for, I bought the original Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus from Robots in Disguise. So make sure to subscribe if you want to see those videos. Coming back to this area, it seems like we got some nice metallic silver going on here.
I do like how this abdomen area is done. He does have a big gaping glory hole in the center.
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here.
I do like how it's sort of like panels going on through here. It looks very interesting, and I do like how we get some paintwork over here, but it's kind of been like weathered out, which normally I don't like Hasbro's weathering on figures, like on this Megatron over here.
The weathering is kind of ugly,
But this doesn't seem like it's overdone, and it does work with the aesthetic of the character. We don't get a waist rotation or ab crunch or anything. On a leader class figure, that is kind of a disappointment, but considering the way this figure is designed, it kind of makes sense that we don't have any of that. Coming down to the legs, I do like the blend of gorilla fur and texture along with the mechanical nature up at the front. Very mechanical looking from the side, a little bit of gorilla texture over there. These legs can move out forward all the way there. We can bring them out to the side, we can bring them back. No knee bend inwards because that wouldn't really work for a gorilla, but we can bend it like this. And if you have him in beast mode, you're not really going to be displaying him fully standing like that. You're probably going to have him crouched over like a gorilla would be. And then coming down to the feet, sculpted pretty well, pretty much how you would expect gorilla feet to look like. Some nice silver paint applications for these joint bits over here.
I'm afraid this might rub off due to how the transformation works. I'll explain that more later.
Underneath the feet, some nice detail going on over here. And they could have just left this plain, but I do like the little bit of detail they added. The feet over here can move back and forth. No pivot, however. Now, while the front of this figure does look pretty good, turning it over to the back is kind of where it falls apart in my opinion. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. One of my major complaints is the head over here looks very hollow from the back.
It's like someone
I kind of wish we had more of a full head over here. I do really like how this back section looks though. The silver here also looks really fantastic. All this is done really great. I love the mechanical robotic look of it. The spine is done incredibly well. This area back here also some really nice detail going on.
I really like how this figure blends the organic bits with the robot bits.
Coming further down the legs, I do like some of this paintwork over here. What's not so great are how the robot mode feet are just kind of like lazily popped onto the back. It does look a little bit ugly in my opinion. It does blend kind of well, but it's still not the greatest thing in the world to see. Overall, the back of the figure isn't the worst, and you're mainly going to be displaying it from the front.
Before the transformation, let's move on to his accessories.
Let's start with my favorite one. We do get a trans warp key, which has some nice paintwork of orange and silver. I really do like this, and this can split in two like it does in the movie, which is very nice. Really cool to have an accessory like this. We get two swords, which are really nice. Some silver paint for the blade. These can combine together if my hand-eye coordination doesn't fail me. There we go. And we get these chain pieces, which we can combine together and attach the swords to. So we get something really cool like this. That wasn't supposed to happen. I did not mean to do that. Lastly, we get a battle axe, but this is for Optimus Prime, as his Studio Series figure didn't really come with the battle axe. So it's kind of weird how they gave this to Optimus Primal. I love the sculpt on this. I just kind of wish it was more painted. Now for the transformation, which is kind of intricate. I like to start off with the arms because they're kind of weird. Take the fingers and close them in, making sure they soft click in all the way. Take this panel out, take this out,
Rotate the hand.
take the arm piece and rotate it around. Now we can take this hand and bring that in there. Close that up, close this up, and it should snap into place if you did it properly. There we go. Grab this piece for the arm and bring it down. And same for this side. Bring those fingers in, panel out, bring this out, rotate the hand, rotate this around, bring that in, close that up, close that up, make sure it's in place. And now we can bring this down. Take his belly piece and pop that out. And this is a tough one. There we go. Rotate it up, come to the back, and grab all this, bringing this up. Take this piece, we're going to bring it up like this, rotate that around, and then bring it in all the way like that. Bring the head up so that way we can bring this all the way around to the front. Move the head out of the way so we can grab this chest area and bring that down. Slide this up, rotate this around, just the head like so, bring that back in, and now we can close the chest. We can come to the back. This panel goes underneath there. We can bring the rest of this back piece down and make sure everything is tabbed into place. Now we can come down to the feet. We can grab it from here and extend his legs all the way out. Take his foot. This is kind of awkward to do. This needs to collapse sort of in here. This needs to come out. This also needs to come out, and now we can bring the foot in there. Now this little peg for the foot needs to slide onto there, and I'm kind of afraid that might ruin the paint after multiple transformations. It seems to be holding up now. We'll see how it fares in the future. Now this slot tabs into there. Go ahead and bring that in and make sure everything is lined up. And I'll do this now because I will forget this. We do need to take the heel out from the back, and that is kind of a pain to do. There's no easy way to grab this. There we go. Adjust all that. Now we can go ahead and do the other one. Just extend that down, bring this down, try to bring this up, move that out of the way, and then align all that up. Bring this in, and we can adjust everything. Bring that heel out, which is a pain to grab. There we go. We can adjust everything, and there is the robot mode for Optimus Primal. Wow, wasn't that a wacky transformation? Here is the robot mode for the figure. Definitely a bit more on the complex side, but it is a leader class figure, so it does make sense. The back of the box for the Japanese version doesn't list how many steps that it was. So how is the robot mode after that wacky transformation? Well, pretty good. This is a solid figure. The plaster quality on this guy is solid. He feels great to hold. The sculpt on him is amazing. He seems to be fairly accurate from the 0.02 seconds we saw him in robot mode in the film. Even though I'm not a big Beast Wars fan, that is kind of disappointing. The weathering on this figure and all the battle damage is done pretty well. It's not overdone and it really fits the character's aesthetic. It makes him feel aged and war-torn, even though he is younger than Optimus Prime. But then again, I think it's hinted that the Maximals are from the future. I don't know. There's a lot of things to like about this figure. A few downsides, but nothing major. The figure is still fun to pose in the robot mode. A lot of the details are going to be the same, since a lot of the beast mode parts are the same as the robot mode parts. The transformation engineering on this figure is honestly done pretty well, even if it is a bit complex. I like what they did to get this figure to look amazing in both beast mode and robot mode. So now for a leader class figure, this guy is kind of small. Here he is next to leader class Armada Megatron and my knockoff Scourge, which is an exact KO of the leader class figure. Being in the leader class, you would expect him to be bigger, but he's more Voyager scale sized. Here he is next to Studio Series Optimus, the oversized knockoff, Bumblebee, RC, and Legacy Animated Optimus. And lastly, the YOLO Park Optimus Primal. The head sculpt on this figure is really great. It kind of reminds me a bit of Batman or Black Panther in a sort of way. He does have those Prime-like bunny ears, and that similar shape on the forehead. I do like some of the little panel working going on throughout the top. Some nice silver for the eyebrows and the mouthpiece over here. Since this is based off the concept art, this isn't how he looks like in the movie, but I do like the way this looks. I do like the mouthpiece we have going on over the nose and underneath the chin. The silver is also great on there. The head on this is kind of tight. He can look down and up. Only about that much is where I can get it to go. We can move it left and right, and it is very tight. Also, underneath, we do have some tiny detail we can see. I do like the collar he's got going on here. Once again, that gorilla texture. The arms are pretty much exactly the same, except now this fur detail is on the outside. The sculpt of the hands here is also different, but nothing too drastic to linger on about. The arm articulation is pretty much the same. However, now the butterfly joints only hinge back. Coming to the chest, that's where it looks really good. I do like some of the weathering going on over here, as well as some of the battle damage we have. Looks like chips were just taken out of the sculpt, and that does look really cool. I do once again like the weathering on this figure more than the weathering done on previous Hasbro figures, like once again this one, because over here for Optimus Primal, I feel like it makes more sense and it's not overdone. The Maxima logo is kind of hard to see because it's so shiny, but it is in the center. Coming down to the abdomen area, I do like how it's kind of rib cage like, a little bit of mechanical detail. Now we still won't have an ab crunch, which is still really unfortunate. I am glad we get a waist rotation now. Further down, not a whole lot going on in this area, but coming down to the legs, we do have more of that fur detail over here, as well as more of that mechanical detail in here, some of that gorilla bits, some more nice weathering done for the front part of the legs. We do have completely different feet now. These are way more mechanical and robot-like. Legs can move forward, out to the side, back there. There is leg rotation in both modes. We do get a knee bend, and if we break the transformation a little bit, we can get more of a knee bend. That will happen pretty often because this is easy to disconnect. Articulation for the feet, they can move back and forth. We do get a pivot, and the toes can move up. And turning the figure over to the back, we do get quite a bit of a backpack over here, but I do feel like it is decently compressed for the most part. The rest of it is looking pretty good. A little bit of mechanical detail. Coming back down to the legs, this also looks perfectly fine. We do have the gorilla feet now back here, and it does look kind of awkward like that. It does blend in kind of, not really. It doesn't look the greatest, and it looks a bit awkward, but if you are displaying this figure from the front, it's not really that big of a deal. The YOLO Park figures are a really good representation of a movie accurate figure, mostly because it can transform, but comparing it side by side with the Studio Series figure, there are a lot of similarities between the two, which makes sense because yeah, they're the same figure, but what I'm trying to say is that the designers of this figure really kept true to how Optimus Primal looks in the movies. As you can see, pretty much everything is basically in the right place, and this is a transforming figure. Both of these are impressive, by the way. And here's a look at the back. Even these little details down over here are similar to the ones over here. I do like how even the battle damage is similar on both of them. This is a pretty neat figure. Now make sure to check out Meccha Japan for all your Japanese and weeb related things. And here's another fun video for you, a knockoff oversized Studio Series Optimus Prime.